Good morning, everyone. I'm Linda Healy. I'm with the Normal Rotary Club, and I was part of the committee that helped get the speakers here. Kat was also on that committee, and a number of other wonderful people. I hope you're enjoying the conference. Raji is one of the most amazing kids. I don't want to leave you out. You're ever going to meet. Here, I'll stand over here. She's only a sophomore in high school, and she has already done more than most of us in our entire lifetimes. So these are the kinds of young people that we want to champion, and we want to encourage, and we want to support, and because they're going to be the leaders of the future. And Yash, is that right, is assisting her today. They are both working on a program called Little Free Pantry. She and a number of her fellow students a couple years ago decided that there was a need, that there were people going hungry in our community, and they did something about it. So she also gave a TED Talk last year, and I know you're going to hear her name many times in the future. So I'm going to turn it over to them, and they will tell you all about Little Free Pantry. Thanks for being here.
Thank you. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for coming here and listening to our presentation today about the Little Free Pantry. It's an honor to be here, and I'm so happy to present what we've done in front of you guys. Yeah, this is Yash, and he will also be joining me in talking about the Little Free Pantry as well. We have started this, and it is continuing for the approximately 3 years, and we have numerous other volunteers who are also a part of this. Here's a picture of all of us volunteers. We have over 50 volunteers now. The mission of the Little Free Pantry is to eliminate hunger in our community. That is why we started it. And it's a complete youth movement in Bloomington Normal to eradicate hunger in our communities. And our goal is to make it more accessible to get food around here. There are many places to get food. Obviously, you can go to a grocery store, but the people who cannot afford that, sometimes they may go to soup kitchens, which may not be open 24/7 any day of the week. So our goal was to make it really accessible for people. And we also want to have more Little Free Pantry locations. We currently have one on South Morris Avenue, but we would like to have more where more people can actually be involved and get the food. And our motto is, take what you need and leave what you can. When you are in a point of life where something is needed, and in this case, food, take whatever is needed. But when you are finally back up on your feet and capable of helping the people around you, leave what you can. So we have 3 upcycled Pantograph boxes, and we use this to store the food. We could have had brand new boxes, and we needed approximately $300 to actually get those installed. But a volunteer actually donated these Pantograph boxes, and they've been in really good use since then. And after that, in the past 3 years, this is how far we've come, painting it and kind of making it feel more like home for the people who use the pantry on a daily basis.
You may also notice that we've actually added 2 more boxes. Those are not actually food pantry boxes, but we've decided to expand our scope to add in educational books into a Little Free library as well. Ensuring that not only food can be accessible, but also a quality way to read books that are educational that you can then go and apply in wherever you may be.
We started the Little Free Pantry in 2016. It was inspired by a lady named Jessica McClard who lives in Arkansas. She started the Little Free Pantry in her neighborhood, and it was very successful. Seeing this video online, I was very inspired and wanted to do something in our community. I had already heard about how there were problems regarding hunger in our community. Approximately 100 kids in McLean County go to bed every single day hungry. And that kind of left me unsettled, and after seeing this video, I thought it was the perfect opportunity to start it in our town. But kind of getting it started was very difficult. I did not know how to go about this. At this time, I was a young middle schooler with just an idea. So one day I met the mayor, and I kind of told him about my idea, how I wanted to start the Little Free Pantry here in town. things took off from there, and I eventually met a lady named Karen Schmidt, who introduced me to a man named Scott Preston, and here we are with the Little Free Pantry months later. Getting the location was very difficult, but eventually, how I mentioned, there was a man named Scott Preston who is a council member. He let us use his land for the Little Free Pantry. That was the coming soon board when we first started and when we had 3 boxes, and that is Scott Preston pictured there on the right side. But starting it, not only was location a problem, but we had many concerns and many people doubting us, wondering if this was even possible to do in the first place. And as you heard previously, money was also a problem for us. Us as middle schoolers, high schoolers, we really did not know where to get the money to actually have this started. So we had a bake sale and a garage sale. And eventually, the fire department actually drove by and they decided to buy all of our cookies. So that was a big success for us. And we decided to, like you saw how we had the Pantograph boxes, instead of using that money to invest in completely new boxes, we decided to invest the money in the food that actually goes into the pantry. So we saved money in that aspect. And in the volunteers, we had approximately 8 volunteers when we first started out, and now we have over 50 youth volunteers ages 7 through 21 who are all really passionate about hunger in our community. When it came to the location, that was also really tricky because we needed it to be on a private property. Going through the city is very difficult if it's on a public property, so it was very key that I talked to the mayor and eventually Karen Schmidt so that Scott could lend us the location.
The next challenge we faced was awareness. Now that we got a location, we had our boxes, we had everything set up, how are we going to convey to the masses that people could come here and get food? And that's something that we spent a lot of time tackling. We went to everywhere we could. We publicized as much as we could, saying this is an option for those of you who are in need. And that was actually a really big success. And we go back to the pantry as a complete 50 youth volunteers, and we just go every year and we talk to the people around. We see what is going on. We talk to the neighbors, and then they had all said, people are coming at all hours of the day. People are using this on a daily basis, and this has done something that has been really impactful in their community, and they've been really appreciative of it. The next one was liability. If something happens and like someone gets sick from the food we put inside our boxes, what do we do? What if someone comes approaching a lawsuit towards us because they cannot pay the medical bills that their child or themselves need to go through from this? Fortunately, there's the Good Samaritan Act that protects us from these liabilities, and we're very fortunate to have that. And the final one is the 501c3. We needed to decide if we were going to be a legal nonprofit and file taxes and do all of that stuff. We are not a 501c3 officially, and we have personally decided that that is not something we really want to pursue because there's like a variety of challenges that come along with that as well.
And other than the $500 that we had at the beginning, because of the garage sale, now we have no cash flow in the system. We are running solely based on the donations that the community and different people give to us. So if we were a 501c3, not only did we not want to deal with the money regarding that, but we thought it would just be a lot easier for us students to handle that way. Our volunteers, like I said, we now have over 50 volunteers. We stock the pantry every other day, and we communicate on this app called WhatsApp. And we list dates, and each volunteer puts their name next to a date to indicate that they will fill it then. This has been working pretty well so far, and the pantry is still being stocked every other day, despite of the weather conditions.
Another thing to go along that we fill the pantry every other day. We have many food pantry type boxes that are run by like various organizations such as churches, but those often only fill once a week, leaving those who are not in a position to get food hungry for the remaining days of the week. Filling the box every other day ensures that those who need the food on a daily basis, because they don't have a job or they've been fired or whatever the case may be, ensure that they have food constantly.
And at the beginning, when we started the Little Free Pantry, we were initially stocking it once every week, but we saw that the stock would be completely empty the next time we filled it. So we had to experiment with that for a little bit to see what worked best for us and the people in that area. And this is, as you can see here, a little girl named Sana, and she, through rain, shine, anything, we are very dedicated. Our volunteers are very passionate about making sure that people in the area do not go hungry.
So one of the big ways we get out to the people that we have recently filled the pantry is that every time a volunteer goes and fills the pantry, their parent, because most of us can't drive yet, go with them and they take pictures of them, like your son. And then we'll take those pictures and then we'll post them on Facebook. That way those who are in need know, okay, we have just filled the pantry, there's food, please go to it.
How are we still running? Completely based on donations. As you can see here in the pictures below, that's one of the library. We work with them and we have very good relationships with a lot of people in the community for like donating to us if we ever need a food drive. Over there, that's Four Seasons, and we partnered with them to have a donation. So they're all solely based on the community. We have no cash flow in the system. And we're still running because our volunteers, we meet very regularly and touch base with there's a lot of communication that goes down in the WhatsApp group chat. And that's how we are continuing to run. We have monthly meetings as well.
Another big way we get our food to stock the pantry, because we're filling every other day and we need a large quantity of food, we do a lot of food drives during the summer because doing food drives in the winter just isn't as effective. And we mainly do it within our community and within churches. I personally have run several food drives for the past couple of years now, where we'll go to churches, we'll take a whole day, and then we'll drive around to like 15 or so churches and say, this is what we do, this is what we're trying to accomplish. Would you be willing to give us some food to help us in our mission? And oftentimes they'll be like, yes, we're really proud that you guys are taking this initiative, and then that is another big source of food for us.
Yeah, and another reason we are still running is because we have our community leaders backing us up and giving us advice as we go through our project. We are in contact with Karen Schmidt, Scott Preston, and we work with them to have more projects that we're coming up with as well. And Yash previously mentioned how we have the Little Free library as well. So initially we started with the pantry, but seeing the success of it and seeing the feedback that we got from the people in that area, we decided to take on multiple other projects. And here you can see other people, individual people as well. Sometimes we'll literally have boxes of food at our doorstep, and we're like, okay, thank you. But yeah, a lot of people are very willing to donate, and we're so thankful for that.
One thing I've personally noticed is how much the community embraces it. Even if they are not directly affiliated with us, some people don't message us on Facebook, which is primarily how we get the donations from the individual people. Then we'll go pick it up from them. But sometimes if a person is just driving by the pantry and then they'll notice that people are filling it or things like that, they will take a box of food or of non-perishable food and they'll just leave it in front of the pantry. And then we go every other day. So the next volunteer who fills will notice that there's a big cardboard box of just assorted food items, and then depending on what's left, we'll stock it back up and then make it look nice. But we're really glad to see how well the community is embracing this project.
So here are some of the projects that we've completed so far in the past 3 years. Every year we have an annual visit to a retirement home on Valentine's Day, and we spend a couple of hours with the senior citizens there engaging in games, playing music, and overall having a really nice time. We've also had the book bike program, and we've had a drive for them, and we partner with them and donate books to the program there. And Yash, a couple of years ago, was in charge of leading that, and we had a very successful turnout to give to the book bike program.
I think we did 2 book drives for them. The second one because the first one was such a big success. Overall, we raised over 1,500 books across the 2 book drives. I think they lasted roughly 1 to 2 weeks for each book drive. It was really successful.
The Little Free Library, which we recently installed, and the Giving Fence. The Giving Fence is a place around that area as well. It's just a fence, and during winter time, you can actually hang up coats and like winter gear. So we had a winter gear drive for that as well. And we've had art sales, fundraising those in natural disasters around the world. And each Christmas, usually sometimes a family reaches out to us on our Facebook page, letting us know that, hey, we are in need. Are you able to donate? Like with your volunteers, are you able to donate some like basic necessities? And we pick a family during Christmas, and we celebrate Christmas with them.
I just wanted to touch back upon the Little Free Library. When we originally had the idea that we wanted to expand to a library, I was talking to one of my teachers who was like really involved with his church, and he expressed to me that part of the reason that some food pantries only fill once of food is to encourage people to go out for themselves and find a job, and then so that way they can support themselves. We took that same kind of idea of like trying to help people get back upon their feet in making this Little Free Library. We recently had the inauguration of the Little Free Library where everyone came together, and then we had tons of books. The important thing is these books weren't like Peter the Rabbit or alphabet books. We certainly do have those for the younger children who want those, but we also have books who teach people how to code Java. We have books that teach people how to drive commercial trailers. We have books that teach people how to I can't remember.
It's an assortment of so many educational books that are like teach languages, an assortment
we
of
have
them.
Motivational books that tell people like even though it's tough for you, there are things you can do. We have a wide variety of books, and this definitely does go beyond just the fact that we're letting people borrow books, just the fact that we are letting people have food, because at the end of the day, as much as we do love filling the pantry, we want to see people succeed. We want to see people take their lives and then go do something really productive. We want to see them grow.
We can only feed people so long, but if you teach a man to fish, it's so much more productive, and it's so much more effective, and that's what we really want to see with the pantry. So here's a picture of when we celebrated Christmas with the family in need. All of us volunteers gathered and got a couple of presents, as well as some basic necessities for the families there. And this is the book buy program. We had a very good turnout.
Yeah, these are the 1,500 books that we made.
Wow.
This is only a small portion of them. Many of them are like stacked up in a garage.
So Raji, several people in here are not from the local community. They're from outside of Bloomington Normal. Can you explain to them about the book bike program a little bit, what happens here?
For sure. There is basically a bicycle, and every Saturday they go to neighborhoods with children who cannot afford books or do not have access to libraries based on like transportation. So some volunteers, they go bike around those neighborhoods in needs, and it's basically like a portable library. And the children around those areas, they really rely upon them, and it's very successful and a great project. So
And the books are given to these children?
Yes. And this is every Saturday, I think. So this has been going on, and we decided to partner with them 2 times and donate some books to them. And this is the Giving Fence. Like I mentioned earlier, it's during the winter time, and people can just hang up coats, and it's similar to the pantry in a sense where it's very, very accessible. You can just walk up to it and grab what you need. So we decided to partner with them as well.
Where's that located?
I'm sorry, I do not know I think it's on Washington Street.
West Washington
It's
Street,
West
by
Washington.
Westside Clothing?
You know
Is that where it's
where,
out there?
right,
Up
and
by
it's
the old
now
Westside Clothing?
Retrofit Culture is the business, it's right beside it.
Restate that, please.
Retrofit Culture is now the business that's in where West Side Road used to be,
Mm-hmm, okay.
and it's the fence right beside it.
I
So
saw a bunch
it's-
of coats hanging there one
I
time.
think
thought-
it's I think Morris is the cross street. I
Yes.
believe.
Morris,
And
yes.
South
Morris and West
In
Washington.
Washington.
and South Morris Avenue is where the pantry is located, next to the hub.
Cool.
Question, Raji?
So, do you have volunteers that would take those clothes off the fence if it's a rain or ice storm?
We do not that was just one time where we partnered with them. We do not know how they operate or what happens in those conditions, but that's a very good question, and I'll try to ask them.
I know a little bit about it.
Yeah.
The hats and scarves and gloves, they ask you to bring in a Ziploc bag.
Yes.
And coats that are hung up there don't stay very long.
Yeah, we put it up there one day, and a volunteer was driving back, they said all the coats were gone. So people, it's a very big need for them. So yeah.
The woman who owns Retrofit Culture, which is, it's her fence, monitors it, so.
Youth leadership in the Little Free Pantry. As we have over 50 volunteers, they want to take up a lot of leadership roles, and we really enforce that upon these children. We have a core team and youth leads in our Little Free Pantry team, and our core team really focuses on finding new projects to be involved with, and we have youth leads every single year. So we switch out new youth leads, and they are in charge of kind of driving the pantry for that year. So last year it was Yash and Anaga, and the year before that, in 2016, I partnered with another guy named Sankalp, and we kind of initiated the Little Free Pantry. So we alternate that each year. We have monthly meetings as well, where we follow and touch base with everyone and how they are going in their projects that they're conducting. And that has been going on very well. We have set agendas and strict timelines that we follow, so it's in a very orderly manner. And we have the good snacks at the end. That's a good motivation for us. And we have food drives, and we are expected to go to our schools and reach out to any people that we know of in order to have these kind of food drives. So there's a lot of leadership and a lot of volunteers that are going on in the Little Free Pantry. And I'm very thankful for it, because I feel like I have gained and grown a lot as a person just being with the pantry and all of the volunteers, learning from them as well. And this is a picture of some of us having a very productive time at the monthly meetings.
Where do you meet?
We meet at a volunteer's house, and we kind of alternate based on that. We have future plans and hopes with the Little Free Pantry. Our main priority is to have more locations. And if you know anyone or have any ideas of locations in town or anywhere else where we could have one, it would mean the world to us. And having more of an awareness for the Little Free Pantry, so far a lot of people in the area know, hey, this is one place where we can go if we ever need food or books or anything. But to have the awareness in other places of town as well, to have more locations so more people know about the pantries in general. And
So Raji, excuse me, all of these are in one place and you just have one location?
Correct.
Do you have access to more of the Pantograph boxes?
So a volunteer has donated to us, so not necessarily.
Okay.
And for our schools to have more involvement with their students regarding community service. We think that that is one of the greatest skills that you can have. It shapes you a lot as a person. And if the schools can kind of show their students that, hey, community service is a very great thing, and it can shape you a lot as a person, we think that can impact so many students and kind of make the education system a lot, I don't know, I wouldn't say better, but it would be very nice to see that.
Where do you keep your stock?
At a variety of volunteers' houses. I have several shelves in a long garage that we stock food at. We have many other volunteers who are willing and have been really kind in allowing us to use their garages to store food.
And if a volunteer ever, they themselves don't have the stock at their house, they contact one of the other volunteers who has it, and they're like, hey, can I stop by your house? I'm planning to fill the pantry. Let me grab some food. So it works out very well that way. And here's a picture recently at the Little Free Library inauguration. This was like last week.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was a very successful turnout as well.
Do you have access to the food bank
We
for
do not.
supplies?
We do not, because we're not a registered 501c nonprofit, and
Yeah.
the food bank only donates to registered nonprofits.
We had previously at the beginning tried to partner with them, but we're not registered, so we unfortunately could not.
Can you tell me how much food how much food is going into this box?
Mm-hmm.
I'm just trying to get a sense of like what's it look like when somebody opens it up,
Right.
what are they seeing and how much is going through?
So inside each of the three, I'm going to try to demonstrate how big these boxes are as best I can. So each, the actual fillable space of the box is maybe like this big,
Okay.
and then it's maybe like about this deep. And inside each box is two shelves where you can like fill in cans and like bags and stuff. There's a decent amount of stock that goes into these, and it's more than enough to sustain the people who need it.
Very good. What are some of your top items that are most popular and most in need? I mean, is it canned vegetables and macaroni and cheese and ravioli and that kind of stuff, or what other things are on your need
We
list?
see a lot of like carbohydrate dense foods like rice, beans. We see like mac and cheese and some of like the favorite items of the kids like go really fast. Sometimes
Cereal boxes.
cereal boxes. Canned vegetables also go really well. Anything that's like nutritious and is what we see go the fastest.
Do you have issues with, like in the winter, with freezing?
Yes, which is why, like, we do not know how to, like, freezing of the cans itself.
Right, or
Okay.
jars or whatever.
We have not noticed that so far, surprisingly. They're pretty, like, shut door boxes. But one thing that we have been trying to start is the shed for the Little Free Pantry complex. During the winter time, it's been not as easy to access. So we thought that this shed would be a really nice place to, like, when you're opening the box as snow is falling into your face, it's just not a good time to. So we decided that this would be one of our like future plans for it, and we've been trying to have this and get this going, but finding the material as we have no cash flow is kind of difficult. But this is one of our future goals to have this.
So Raji, you don't have anybody to build this yet?
Not
Right.
yet.
Have you priced it out at all as far as what your need is?
We have to get an estimate on the wood. Actually, a volunteer has reached out, like a person of the community, not even a volunteer, has said, hey, this would be a very good idea and I want to help. The materials is the thing that we need to work on.
Have you
Just tell
applied
us how
for
much it is,
district?
kiddo.
I know, I say, find out and let us know.
Rotarary's not in
Write
Rotary.
checks.
She's not a Rotary.
How many do you,
Well,
of these do
but
you
a Rotary
envision
club
having?
could apply for it
The
and be
pantries
used to.
themselves?
Yeah, but I'm sorry it's late, but are they distributed throughout the entire town? Are they in one place? I mean, you showed a whole bank of them someplace, but I don't know where that was.
That's on 502
South
South Morris Avenue.
We have currently one location.
One location.
We were talking to 4-H at some point in time to expand and develop a box on their plot. I don't know if you've ever been there, but they have like a lot of apartment complexes quite near to there, and those are also places that we have been working to get boxes.
The Unity Community Center.
John, they have to place it on personal property, not city property,
Yeah.
because of liability issues.
That is one of the concerns
Got
for
it.
us. Yeah. So how can you help with the Little Free Pantry? One is to find additional locations for the pantry, and to donate non-perishable food items, donating books that hold educational value. You can follow us on our Facebook page to create more of an awareness for the Little Free Pantry. That is the exact page for it. We would love if you could send a message to us letting us know if you have any other projects for us volunteers to take control in. If you need anyone who needs help, we would love to help. Email us or to volunteer, reach out to us. Please do. We love hearing the feedback from the community. It really helps us as a team.
How do we donate food?
You can donate to us by contacting us on our Facebook page,
Okay.
going to the pantry boxes itself. A lot of people don't usually do that, but if you can contact one of our volunteers, we can pick it up and store it in one of our volunteers' garages, houses. And
Can you go back to our page?
sure,
Thank you.
which page? This one?
That one, yeah.
All right.
You can take a picture of your contact.
Aren't there other little free, I know there is, restate the question. Second Presbyterian Church has a little free pantry at the corner of their facility. Have you considered partnering with Second Press or other organizations that have little free pantries to, again, just kind of create a synergy there and partner with them? And I know we can make that happen.
I think that would be such a great idea if we could be in contact with the other Little Free Pantries around town. But it's the fact that we didn't even know about that.
Sure.
Yeah. So
We just need to
Is it a
find out.
pantry or a library?
Little
There are
free
lots
pantry.
of
Little free
libraries.
pantry. Little free pantry.
And we
Where
see
the
it
old,
every week.
where the old, yeah, right where we are.
Right,
Right. Where the old Cape and Building was in the corner of Prairie and Market or whatever that street is.
and
There's a little free pantry box, much like you're describing, with stuff that members of our church occasionally put stuff in, and the stuff goes in and out pretty fast. But I know that if you partner, and I asked me who organizes it for our church, I don't have a clue.
Right.
But I could find out.
Yeah.
And honestly, if you could get us that kind of information, and our volunteers are very dedicated, and we could even help in like stocking the food and kind of split sides. Like some volunteers go to this one and stock it every other day or something like that. We've been wanting to do that for quite a while, and that was our plan with the. Sorry. Yeah.
After the meeting, I'd like to talk to you because from Clinton, but my Legion, we do all the food pantries for the churches. And Eastern Illinois is there today. There'll be 135 families through. And Gordon Bittner, I know, is very involved with the Midwest Food Bank here. And I think if we get some cards, because they bring stuff, and I know several churches come and get stuff. You should qualify for.
I would think that they would be able to qualify.
They
somehow.
qualify. It's just they
Organized-
haven't had the contact.
Yeah.
They're not a 501c3 though. So could you borrow a 501c3? Could
I thought they said they were a
No, they're
not.
Then it's important to partner up with someone who is
Who
one.
is one? Yep.
One thing I wanted to touch on, the idea of more pantry boxes, is that we only have so much stock, and raising stock becomes more and more difficult as we are not exactly in the biggest of towns, and finding the stock to fill 2 to 3 to 4 pantries then becomes an issue as well. So in order to scale to the multiple food box level, we may need to go and like partner with someone who does have 501c3 to go then partner with the Midwest Food Bank and scenarios like that. Yes?
Well, you guys really fit the model with the Rotary community group. I mean, you just need to find one of these Bloomington clubs to
We'll sign
talk
them
to.
up. We'll okay.
We're on it.
Well, there's an Interact Club at Normal Communities.
Yeah.
So
We're into it,
you
okay.
should-
Which schools do you go to?
You also
Which
go
is
to
yours?
Normal Community High
No,
School.
me.
You should both belong to that.
And those kind of suggestions, we really, really do appreciate them, and some of us it's just like not the awareness, like we do not know that there are other pantries that are doing similar things, so just kind of letting us know so that we can connect with more people, that's perfect. So thank you so much for giving us all this feedback. Yeah.
So when do you guys graduate?
I graduate this year.
I'm currently a sophomore, so a couple more years.
Oh, okay.
You
So-
two are, we were just discussing, I mean, you're both very good speakers, but I
Yeah.
just said are you 15?
14.
And you did
Four
it.
times. Wow.
Boy.
So
But
when
just
have
your
you
ability to
graduated?
speak.
We have recently just had our first volunteer graduate. The partner she worked with when she was leading the pantry, his uncle, he graduated and he went to Parkland Community College. What we see is that he still comes back and does volunteer work when we come back to see his family and stuff like that. So we've really appreciated stuff like that, and I at least personally plan to come back and volunteer with the Little Free Pantry every chance I can.
Where are you going to school?
Where are you gonna do?
I have not yet decided. I'm still applying.
So how do you guys bring in more volunteers?
Right now it's been a lot of word of mouth. We have talked to a lot of people within our friend groups and the people we meet. We also go to a lot of events. We came to the YICU events, and then we had like a little stand for a while, and then we talked to as many people as we can.
You want to tell people what YICU stands for? Youth Engaged in...
Community.
I can't remember.
It's like a youth philanthropy
it's like
group.
it's like an event for people who are youth leaders, and then you engage in community service. So it was like a award ceremony for that, and we went there. We were actually our team actually got a team award for the YSU award, and we went back there, had a booth there, sign up sheet. So that's how we get the volunteers as well.
Would you prefer to keep it all young people, or do you want like
Keep the adults out of it.
to join you? I know your parents do a lot to help you,
Of course.
driving you around and all that, and storing the food, but are you really interested in keeping it a young person's organization?
Yes, we would like
Okay.
to keep it a youth movement, but like I was mentioning earlier, people like Scott, Karen, people like you, honestly, and all of you, we kind of go back to you if we need any help and we would love our community, honestly anyone, to be involved in the Little Free Pantry. It's a community movement, not just a student movement.
Okay, good to know.
Just a note for the crowd, Raji did do a TED Talk last year. So you could Google, or on YouTube, you could put in Raji Moore TED Talk, and she talks about this program if you want to take this back to your club.
And they're unbelievable. TEDx.
TEDx, she did TEDx normal.
Unbelievable.
Talk about
Unbelievable.
yeah.
I apologize because I wear hearing aids, so I'm not catching. You're in college here?
No, I was
High
No,
school.
she's in high school. She's
high
a
school.
sophomore.
So the Interact Club at high school, she
Yeah,
could become
yeah.
totally involved with.
Yeah,
which would get
we
her-
have a normal community has an Interact Club.
But I mean, that would give her the contact
Yep.
through. So are you part of Interact?
I'm not. I
You're gonna be.
You're not leaving until you sign up. Are you a member of National Honor Society? Or is your National Honor Society active in this? Because they're always looking for.
She's too young.
Oh,
That's
so
not
is
a junior.
that juniors?
Yeah,
Okay.
junior.
You'll be there. But
You'll be there.
National Honor Society is looking for programs and projects. And I know the Boy Scout, you talk about projects that you could have the Boy Scouts help you build one of the Eagle projects. Could help her build a little
Yeah.
shelter. I know that's a perfect thing.
That's an Eagle Scout.
As a Boy Scout guy myself, we look at those projects and say, that's cool, do that.
Honestly, that would be a very great thing if we can find another location or actually help build
Yeah.
the shed.
Right.
Yeah, but again,
Yep.
Like, who's finding
the little-
John,
shed.
do you have a card you can give Roger so she can touch base with you?
I'll do that.
Yeah, but she was not aware.
I'll do
She
that.
doesn't.
So one thing that we really like to enforce is that if you, like what Mother Teresa said, if you cannot feed 100 people, just feed one. And that is the concept that we are trying to apply here. We are no means trying to eradicate world hunger. That's such a big project, and we've talked to a lot of people, and some people don't even know if that's possible. But the effort that we're trying to make here in our community, just to help the people around us make sure that they are secure with their food, that is our goal, just to at least help one person. And thank you so much to listening to us and hearing what we have to say, all of your feedback and all of your input. It is greatly appreciated. So thank you so much and have a great rest of your weekend. Please do reach out to us.
Will do.